Hello there. So today we got some pretty big news because we got word on a ton of returning Divine Dragons coming in the final Divine Fest event. And one of these new dragons is indeed Hades, who you see on screen right now. But I will be showing you each and every one of these dragons that have been revealed to be returning so far, because I did post about this earlier in the community tab. Seems some people get confused by raiding sometimes, so I'm going to go through each of them individually, but I did confirm here that Chrono Isis, Hades, Freya, Changi, Chrono Erlang, Shen, Anubis, and Hypnos appear to be the dragons returning, because in the official DML server, they posted this that had like a few pieces of each dragon that is going to be returning. So if we go left to right, then the first one there is actually Anubis. That one's Chrono Erlang Shen, for example. So these were all little, I guess, teasers as to who the returning divines were going to be. And one of the big ones here is Chrono Isis. And even though Chrono Isis doesn't have the most interesting elements ever, it is a divine light and void dragon. You know, you can take a look at these dragon stats. 289 health, 88 attack, means that Chrono Isis has a strong bless, which is really important if you want to have a strong bless on your team to also boost everything else that happens. The only problem is the void element is kind of iffy on Chrono Isis, but that is one of the returning divines. Next one, like I said, is Chrono Erlang Shen. And Chrono Erlang Shen is a divine shadow and wind dragon, so not particularly useful. 234 health, 82 attack, so much worse than Chrono Isis in a lot of ways. Again, I think Chrono Isis can have some uses on a team, but, you know, Void just kind of makes it difficult to fit into. Now, one of the best dragons that's going to be coming up in this event is actually Freya. So Freya in his original release was a really good dragon, and that hasn't changed. Freya may not have the highest attack stat ever, but it is a divine water and light dragon, which is really, really big for a team because light is super useful, and of course water is super duper useful as well. 77 attack, 260 HP, so not the highest stat dragon ever, but definitely a dragon that you could use on your team. In fact, I was contemplating using him on mine, but everyone voted for Roger instead, so that was your picking, not mine. The next one that we have, like I said, is Hades, and Hades does suffer because he has the shadow element, but one big plus side to Hades is that he also has the earth element, and because he has the shadow element, it actually boosts his attack stat, which means that he has 78 attack as a shielder divine, which is a lot better than some of the others. So if you want a dragon that can shield and you want a dragon that has okay attack stat for a bless, you can actually use Hades. Is he going to be the best pick ever? No, but compared to a lot of the other options, he's definitely a really good one. Another new dragon that we have, well, say new dragon, I should say returning new dragon in this event, is Changi. And Changi is a very high, or she used to be an incredibly high stat dragon. Of course, things have changed now. But 85 base attack. Problem is, again, she is just as her old problems were, she has like no HP. She's got 228 health and 85 attack, as you can see in the bottom right there. And that means that she just gets decimated by everything, because even though she's got a super high attack, which can really boost her bless, that HP really hurts Changi a lot. And when we can have dragons that have exception health and exception attack stats, I just think you're better off not picking her, to be honest. You know, she might look pretty. We call everyone Changi simps because of the event where everyone picked Changi, but I just don't think she's the best option, to be honest. Now, Anubis, like I mentioned before, is also coming, and Anubis is another shadow dragon. They're really a big fan of their shadow divines this time around, and he is a divine shadow and void dragon, 242 HP, 82 attack. I don't think he's one of the best options. I wouldn't really pick him if I was you, to be honest. He's another nice looking dragon, but unfortunately I think he's just outclassed by a lot of things, so I wouldn't pick him. And then we've got Hypnos, and Hypnos was actually released originally in a calendar event, which means that a lot of people that played the game a long time ago got this dragon very easily. But he is a Divine, Void, and Wind Dragon, 246 HP, 78 attack. He's just unfortunately not very useful. So, unfortunately, another sort of not very good Divine to be picking, to be honest. So, on top of that, of course, we also have Athena, Amino Uzume, and we also have, oh my goodness, I've forgotten the name, Horus. And to be honest, the most useful dragons in this event are going to be Chrono Isis, they're going to be Freya, Amino Uzume, even though they have really low stats, and potentially Hades, but I say that very iffy in that sense, but still possible. But outside of that, I would say all of the others are kind of a bit of a miss. You can use them, but I think you'll struggle to fit them into a good dungeon team, for example. But Hades, Freya, Chrono Isis, Amino Uzume are the main ones. You can also use Horus as well. But I think these as a whole are going to be the better options for you if you are looking for purely like an optimal best thing for the team sort of standpoint. Now that does depend on who you actually get, of course, and it is also going to matter as to who's going to fit into your team, because maybe there are tons of dragons that are really good, but maybe they just don't really slot into your team, which can happen. Like, some people, they just want to take dragons like Chrono Isis because they want more unique elements, which 100% I can get behind. Picking unique elements so that you can do better in all kinds of events is really important. So like castle events, if they ever come back, which I hope they fix them if they do. But there are a lot of different events in DML, and maybe you don't just want to base your entire DML life around dungeon only. Especially since they say that this is going to be the final Divine event, which means that the way that they do events or release them as a whole could be completely changing. And maybe we won't be so reliant on the dungeon anymore. I mean, I don't know how likely it is that they're going to change this. It's so fundamental, or it's a fundamental part of the events now. I hope they do change it, because I'm just sick of dungeon. I'm absolutely sick of having to do the dungeon as much as we've had to for like the last couple of years. It's just completely drained me, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it gave me dragons like Emerger or the other exception Divine Ancients without having to spend, but it's just so boring. It's like not worth playing the game if it has to be so boring, you know what I mean? I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. I can't be. I cannot be the only one that thinks that. But, you know, for a lot of people, a lot of these dragons that are going to be re-released we have had before. So for any players that have been playing a long time, maybe it'll actually be better for you, because you'll have a lot less to have to try and go for as a whole. Can you please get rid of this Hades tag game? Why? If I want to remove the tag, can you just... Why? Why does it do this? This game is so buggy that you can't even remove Hades. I want to show the Divines. Why is this game such a buggy, broken piece of no. You know what? Screw it. I'm not going to show you the other Divines. The game doesn't even want me to show you them. You know what? They all suck. I was going to show you the different Divines that have come out, like Changi, Thought Changi, or Freya, as we've already... Well, that's Long Wang, but Freya, as we've had him from a previous event, which does mean that there's only really a couple of dragons that I actually care about. That would mainly be Chrono Isis and, actually, who else do I not have? I think I have all the others, question mark. Changi, Hypnos, Freya. Yeah, I think the only one that I've got left to get is actually Chrono Isis. So, for me, it should be a very peaceful event. But for any of you that are missing a lot of them, of course it's going to be different. You're probably going to be wanting to go for most of them still, but definitely try and pick up the water dragons or the earth dragons if you can. If not, try and pick up some of the AoE users, so light or fire users. Just be careful about trying to fit them into your team, because Shadow can be such a massive pain to try and fit into your team. But I hope that that sort of clears up who's coming and what to expect out of this event. Again, we don't know if this is every new and returning dragon or not. They could throw in something very unexpected. I said this yesterday, that it's a lot of returning dragons for them to bring back. So don't treat this like the other divine events that we've had. There might be even more random changes coming in that they're bringing out just for this event. So keep your eyes peeled, and I hope that you can come to some sort of conclusion as to who you roughly want to go for. I don't think all of the ways that we can get them have actually been revealed yet, but I imagine that will likely be next week, because normally they release a video showcasing how to get all of them, and I'm assuming that we will get that next week. Maybe the week after, we'll see. But anywho, skis, for now, I hope that you have a great day, and I hope to see you again soon.